Okay, are we recording? I don't see it recording anywhere. Oh, yes, we are. Okay.
Yep.
Hi,
We
everybody. Hi. Welcome. Welcome to tonight's webinar. We're so excited. So we got Matt here. Matt,
hi,
Trisha,
everyone.
2-star VPs. We're so glad you're here. I'm hoping everybody can see us and hear us okay. We're seeing a lot of people saying hello, listening. Good, Alice, you're listening. Great. We're just glad you're here. And thanks for spending your night with us. We're excited about tonight's topic. So let's just move on to this next slide. Oh, why isn't it working, Matt?
Did you get page down?
Yeah. Oh, no. Here we go.
Okay. All right.
Well,
as Trisha mentioned, we are Trisha and Matt, and we'd like to introduce ourselves for those of you who are new and haven't had the chance to hear from us before. So a little bit about us. We've been married, it'll be 18 years in June. And we have 5 wonderful kids. Oh, thank you.
I'll leave a little.
5 children. Amber's our oldest. She's 12. And then followed by Parker. He's age 11. Followed by Aubrey, who's 9. Haley, who's 5. And Maisie's our little caboose, and she is 1. She'll be 2 in May. So 1.5, I guess. And we love to travel. We love the beach, as Trisha mentioned in the comments just a few minutes ago. These pictures were taken in Southern California. We went down for a family reunion last summer and had some family pictures taken, and it was a blast. We love the beach. There's nothing better than sunshine, sand, and a little bit of surf. So that's something we love. We also love to spend time together as a family. You know, obviously we have 5 children, and we really can't get enough time together. It's a lot of fun to spend time together, both Trish and I, and with our kids. We love it. It's a hobby and an interest for sure.
Yep.
And we've been Pet Pros for 4 years since the very beginning. Trisha signed up at the launch party 4 years ago, and we've been haven't looked back ever since. So 4 years down and many more to go, many more wonderful years to go. So that's a little bit about us, and tonight we want to talk about, Trisha?
Time management. If you didn't get the memo, tonight is all about time management. And so the next prompt here, it says dare to dream, you know, on the screen here. So I want to just share really briefly that when Melissa Davis, our national sales director, when she sat down with me for the first time, we had just met. I don't think I had any customers yet or any Pet Pros. She came out to support me. I'd been trying a lot of different things, and so she came out and we went to Starbucks, and we were meeting at Starbucks, and we just talked a lot about the opportunity, the pawTree opportunity, and she asked me what I would do if I had unlimited money and unlimited time. What would I do with it? What would I do with the time? What would I do with the money? And for the first time in my life, I really allowed myself to dream, at least that I can think of. I don't ever recall really sitting down and dreaming about what was possible, because, you know, Matt and I had decent jobs. So yeah, Matt and I had decent jobs. We were making a decent income, but nothing that would really allow for extensive traveling or like a cabin or a beach house, or, you know, paying cash for cars. Those kind of things just didn't really feel realistic for us. So we didn't really dream a lot. So when she asked me that question, I really remember thinking about it and thinking, man, is pawTree what can get me this? Is pawTree what can give me these dreams that I'm thinking about, the traveling together as a family, the paying cash for cars, getting out of debt, maybe buying a second home somewhere? Is this the vehicle that's going to allow me to do that? So I dared to dream. I was dreaming about it and thinking about it. And I really realized that time blocking was the key. Time management was the key. And we'll go into it in a little bit here in a minute, but, you know, we lead busy lives. At the time when I first started with pawTree, I already had a business. I had a business that I was working 20 to 30 hours a week from home. I had 4 children at the time. We've added 1 since we've started. So I had 4 children. Matt was busy, full-time job. So I knew that in order to make this work, I had to figure out a time to work my pawTree business. If my vision was to get these big, grand things, you know, then I needed some time blocking. So let's go into...
And before we do, I felt to introduce one other member of our family. We have a wonderful dog. She's our grandma dog named Molly. She's 13, I think 14 years old now, and we've had her for a long time. We adopted her when she was 3 or 4 years old. We rescued her, and she's been a part of the family ever since. And Tina asked, no pets? I might have missed that part. Well, you didn't miss that part. I failed to introduce her. So
we should have a picture. I can't believe we don't have a picture.
We don't. We forgot to include a picture. So
next time
why don't you introduce Molly as well?
Next time we do a webinar, we'll make sure she makes the cut, that she's part of the picture. So again, tonight, all about time management. This is the key. I mean, honestly, the key to your dreams, whether you're a hobbyist and you just want something to pay for your extra utility bills, or maybe help pay for just some fun on the weekends, whether you're wanting just a little extra side money, or you want this to be a full-blown retire your previous job, career, make 6 figures or more, you can do it. You absolutely can do it. So we'll go into that in just a minute, a little bit more.
Yeah, there's something for everybody in this business. Whether you're brand new or whether you're seasoned, time management is an important key and definitely an important skill for whatever you want to do with this. Like Trisha said, whether you're a hobbyist, doing this for fun, doing it for a little extra income, or whether you're a business builder, and whether you want to build this, build it big and dare to dream, as Trisha mentioned. There's something for everybody, but time management is what we want to stress tonight, what we want to talk about to give you an idea of how to do it in your own business.
So let's move along. Matt, you're going to cover this part.
Yep. So as you can see on the screen, a very important question to ask your new pet pro when sponsoring. And for those of you who are new, when we say sponsoring, we're referring to recruiting or building your business, bringing someone who isn't currently a pet pro into the fold and recruiting them or sponsoring them in order to be a pet pro. So the important question you want to ask is, how much time do you have to work your pawTree business? Is it 1 to 5 hours per week? Are you super busy? Is it 5 to 10 hours, 10 plus hours or more? What time do you want to commit to building your business? And maybe that person doesn't know, and that's okay. But as sponsors and as friends, let's help you figure it out and see what you want to do with it. It's definitely, as it says on the screen, this is an important question with an important answer, but there's no right or wrong answer. The beauty of it is this is your business, and you can decide however you want to schedule your tasks, what you want to do with it. So again, just a little bit of time, 1 to 5 hours, a little more time, 5 to 10 hours, or 10 hours or more. What is it that you want to do? It's an important question to ask right off the bat so that you can gauge what your potential pet pro wants to do with their business.
What they can commit to.
What they can commit to.
So one other thing we want to highlight here. So next slide, for those that are listening in, we'll do some reading here, but it says, your actions, they need to match your vision. So why did you decide to become a pet pro? What was it about pawTree? What is it that you feel pawTree can do for you? Like I mentioned a minute ago, is it to help pay some extra bills? Is it to just give a little bit of extra spending money? Is it to help support your pets and just pay for your pets' food? Or do you want this to be a full-blown business that you are making, a significant income in? There's room for whoever and wherever you want to be. So, but why did you decide? Why did you decide? We want you to think about that, because that makes a big difference in your commitment level and what your actions are that get you what you want, get you that vision you're looking for. So a little bit more about our story. When we started, like I mentioned, had a previous business, 4 kids. Matt was working full-time. So as I started this business, I really only had 10 hours a week to devote to this. That's all I had. But I had this grand vision, well, first off, I should say that I never anticipated leaving my appraisal business. So I used to be an appraiser, residential appraiser. And I love it. I love real estate. I love homes. I love what I did before. And I never envisioned leaving it. But as I started working pawTree more, the appraisal kind of would take the back seat a little bit. And now I'm at a point where I've completely replaced that income. We no longer need it anymore. And we're realizing our dreams are coming true. The things that we really sat down and visualized with Melissa those 4 years ago are coming to pass. We just went to Hawaii, Matt and I together, with pawTree funds paid for. And we'd saved throughout the year to go to Hawaii, so we went to Hawaii. We've been paying off debt. We have no debt on our cars. I mean, it's just amazing what this business can really do for you. And so let us be the example that really you can do what you want. It can be whatever you want to make of it, but you just have to have the vision, and then you have to put that vision into action. So again, as Matt said, whether you have 1 hour a week, 40 hours a week, you just have to treat your business like a business. If you're talking dog, if you're sharing samples, you're open. You've got a big open sign on your business, right? if your mouth is closed and you're not talking with people, you're closed. You're closed for business. So, you know, think about it in that term, that in order to be a functioning business, you need to be doing the action. So let's talk a little bit more about what those actions are. So these actions, you know, when we say what actions are needed to work your business, we've got a list of things here. I've done an entire separate training on this before, so we're going to breeze through it. I mean, we could spend 30 minutes on this section alone, but there's just 5 really key elements that are really important that are actions that are necessary for your business. So number 1, meet people. If you have a pen and paper, write these things down, because this is the key to your business. These are the action steps. So number 1, and we're going to breeze through it, meet people. You got to be social. You got to meet people maybe at the park, at the coffee shop, at your job, where else? The gym, the park, farmers markets, expos, wherever you are, just be prepared to open your mouth and talk to people. So number 1, meet people. Number 2, invite them. Invite them to coffee, invite them to your online Facebook parties if that's applicable. I know several teams have online Facebook parties going on you can invite people to and watch a presentation there and see what pop hearings are all about. So invite them to these Facebook events, invite them to coffee, invite them to team meetings if that's applicable in your area, if you have team meetings going. Invite them to a 3-way call with your upline sponsor or your upline leader. Invite. So that's number 2. You've got to be willing to invite. Number 3, you've got to be willing to share samples. Sharing samples is the key to your business too. So share multiple pop hearing samples, share a package of treats, do whatever you can, share a video, but just share. So that's number 3 is share. Number 4 is follow up. You have to be willing to follow up. If you're in the camp of thinking that people are just going to go right onto your link and make an order, you're going to be sadly disappointed. I would say 99% of the sales that Matt and I bring in a month have to do with following up. We follow up, right?
We all want it. We all wish they would, you know, take our samples and go right to the link and place a big order, but it doesn't happen. And one of my favorite quotes, and you know, we may sound like a broken record saying this, but if you don't follow, the answer is always no unless you ask. Unless you follow up, the answer is always no. So follow up, because that truly is where the fortune's at.
It is. It says it right there. The fortune is in the follow-up. And Annette, you're asking if we can send this out. We'd be happy to. You're recovering from surgery, so yeah, we'd be happy to. So the fortune is in the follow-up. So number 4 is follow-up, and number 5 is just provide great customer care. Once you've made that sale and they've crossed the finish line, we'd like to say, then treat them well. We have a 3-3-3 system. That's, again, another training topic that you can find in the library, but just briefly, the 3-3-3 means you follow up with them after 3 days, maybe send a thank you note, reach out to them via text, tell them thanks again for the order. I think a thank you note is a great personal touch. So send them a thank you note after that 3-day mark. Thanks for being a customer. So grateful that you're part of the pawTree family. After 3 weeks, so 3-3-3 is 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months. So at 3 weeks, touch base again. Hey, did you get your order okay? Everything going great? So happy, you know, transitioning okay? The pop hearings, everything going great? Follow up with them. And then at the 3-month mark, follow up again, and that's your chance to upsell to maybe food and other nutritional items. They've had a great experience with the pop hearings and maybe treats. Now's your chance to talk about other nutritional items that we offer. So that's the 3-3-3 system. So again, these 5 bullet points: meet people and be social, invite people to your events or to coffee or somehow to get to know them and talk with them more. Share your samples, share videos, follow up, and provide great customer care. So these are the actions that are required to put your business in business, okay? So Matt, I think this is yours.
So
right?
yeah, so you may be asking yourself, well, when do we do this? You know, I'm a busy person. I don't have the time in my day to do all of this. Well, the secret is time blocking. And you know, a lot of the content that we're going to share moving forward comes from Tiffany Peterson. And some of you were on the call that we hosted with Tiffany several weeks ago. And she teaches a course called Success Principles. In fact, you can find her info online at www.tiffanyspeaks.com. It's here in the PowerPoint. Ton of great information. So if you're interested in any more of what Tiffany has to say on the subject, please seek her out on the link and see. She's full of great information. But first and foremost, time blocking is the secret to doing what you need to do to keep your business open. So the 5 tips that we want to share tonight, and we'll go over these in order, are: number 1, Identify your core priorities, both personally and in your business. You know, if you're not happy personally, if you're not doing the things that you want to do, if things just aren't going right, then your business will suffer. And so you need to take time, and we'll talk about this more in a minute, but you need to be sure that you identify your core priorities for both yourself personally and for your business. Super important. Number 2, plan ahead. And we'll talk about this more specifically as well. Monthly, weekly, nightly. Schedule your core priorities into time blocks. You know, A, what are your priorities? And B, when do you want to accomplish your priorities? Number 4, utilize daily planning to manage yourself. And number 5, eliminate distractions to increase productivity. Okay, that's a big one. We all get distracted. We're all busy. We all get distracted, but yet we all want to build our business big. And so we're going to
kind of digest these now one by one.
Yeah,
so
we're going to break these down one by one.
Yeah, just a brief list. Now we're going to go one by one through these quickly. So number 1.
So number 1 is identify your core priorities, you know, personal and business. So you know, those of you who are on the call with Tiffany, she had us draw a
grid.
Kind of a grid, a quadrant. And in one, she talked about self-time, in another, relationships, in another, health and well-being, and the other, business. Okay, so what are your core priorities? You may not know them right now, but start thinking about them and start writing them down. What are the things that you want to do for yourself, to invest in yourself, to
find joy,
take time to find joy, to tap into, you know, your spiritual side, whatever that, you know, whatever higher power or being you believe in, you know, take time to connect, to meditate, to read, to self-develop. Okay, super important. Relationships, you know, if you're in a committed relationship, if you have a family, that takes time too. And if that's not going well, again, everything else probably won't go well. You know, you need to be in touch with the positive. You know, what you know, think about the law of attraction. If everything is in order, then everything will come your way.
And we just both talk about, like, if your personal life, if you're sad in your personal life, your business is going to be sad too. You have to take care of yourself first. So what are those core priorities that you want to take care of yourself? For me, the gym is a huge one. I love to go to the gym, and you wouldn't know it, right? Because I love to eat too. But here's the thing: I have 5 kids, and they're up the minute, like, you know, what, 6? I feel like our kids get up at 6, and they're up all the way till 10 p.m. So my only time for me personally, without anybody, is the gym. So I feel like that's kind of my sanctuary. So that is a huge personal core priority. I make it to the gym as often as I can, at least 5 days a week, to give me that self-care, that's really important. So that's a core priority. Matt, for you, what would you say is a core priority for you? You know, hunting.
Ice cream.
Ice cream. He's taking care of himself by eating ice cream.
It makes me happy.
It makes him happy.
No, but health, if you don't have your health, what do you have?
Yeah.
You know, you got to be healthy. And I do love, for me, hunting, camping, hiking, being in the mountains, that's sort of my sanctuary where I go to recharge, plug myself in like the iPhone, right? That's what does it for me. And so I do that, you know, whenever I can. And then, of course, we want to bring it back around to your business. You know, what are your core priorities for your business? Sales and marketing, TSA, talking dog, of course, following up, because TSAing and talking dog doesn't get you anywhere if you don't follow up, right? And then business development, you know, building your business, building your team, sponsoring, coaching, team building, maintaining a website or a social media page. You know, think about what your core priorities are. Maybe, like Tiffany taught us, draw that quadrant. You know, label 1 self-time, relationships, health, business, and identify in each quadrant what your core priorities are, and then break it down. What do you want to do to achieve those core priorities? And of course, you can see at the bottom of the screen what actions have the highest rate of return. What's the ROI?
Return on investment. I feel like that's a really big one. A really, really big thing that we like to talk about, because, you know, you could be in your you could be thinking that a core priority is organizing your office. Well, that's great because it helps you feel like, okay, I'm organized, I'm settled, I'm not like all over the place. But what kind of income does that provide you? If your vision is to have bills paid for and help pay your car payment or help make your house payment, then what are you going to do to help that? Organizing your office is not going to. So when we talk about return on investment or revenue return, we're talking about things that help you grow your business, that bring you income. So let's move on to the next slide. This is kind of fun. This is going to see our schedule.
So tip number 2 is weekly planning. Okay, and this is a real copy of a week in the life of Matt. And so you can see on Sunday, Trisha and I, we believe in taking a day of rest, and so we reserve Sunday for us, except for the blue area there. That's our church attendance. And then the black stripes there in the middle. So those of you who don't know, I work a full-time job. And so I'm pretty busy from 8 to 5 every day. Sometimes I get lunch, sometimes I don't. Green is pawTree time. Let's see, Thursday morning I attend a networking group, and so I spend that time working the business. You can see I have some green lines through my lunch hour. I'll talk about those in just a minute. But then other calls throughout the week, coaching sessions and so on, are highlighted in green. And then I'm also studying I'm a project manager, and so I'm studying for the PMP exam. And so I time block time in the morning in orange, and then as part of that I take a course on Saturday. So my Saturday's booked study time. So you can see I'm pretty busy, as many of you are as well. But the key to planning is to identify those 15-minute chunks of time that you can fit stuff in. In fact, one of the things I wanted to share tonight, as far as weekly planning goes, is think about your, put a calendar together like this, okay?
And if you can't see it, if you're on the phone, let's just tell really quickly. This is a schedule that shows Sunday through Saturday, and it goes from 6 a.m. to midnight. So it's time block per hour, 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8, 9, 10, all the way to midnight. And so you can see your whole week at a glance and insert where you block out, like Matt was saying, work, 8 to 5 every day is blocked out for work time. So just for those that are not watching.
So I just wanted to say, businesses are best built upon 15-minute increments. I mean, like I said, you can see I'm busy. Many of you are super busy as well. But we all have time in our day to block out 15-minute chunks of time. And you can do a lot in 15 minutes. You can make a phone call. You can follow up. You can send a text. You can write a thank you note. You can reach out to somebody. There's a lot you can do in 15 minutes, and 15 minutes is easy to schedule in. And so that's why I drew the green lines through my lunch hour, because in 15 minutes, I can do a lot during that time. And not only, when I talk about breaking things down into 15-minute increments, if you want to combine blocks of time and make it a half-hour increment, you can do that as well. But find those 15-minute increments and pencil them in. Identify what you want to do. But the important thing is that you put them on your calendar. We live and die by our calendars. Most of us do. And so if you don't pencil in those 15-minute increments, they most likely won't happen. You got to do it. And then, of course, subject number 2, you can see on the screen. Sorry, I'm suffering with a cold, so if you hear me sniffling, that's why. Each week, Sunday night is when Trisha and I do it. Take a couple of those 15-minute time blocks, 3 or 4, and plan. Identify what you want to do. Identify when you want to do it. Write down what goals you want to accomplish. And then the following week, review it. What did you accomplish? Okay? How did you do it? How did you get there? And if you do that, you'll really be able to build your business big. That's a tongue twister.
All right, so I love sharing Matt's calendar first, because I think the majority of those listening work a full-time job, and so you're trying to fit, pawTree in the nooks and crannies. And so I love that Matt was able to highlight, these 15-minute increments here during a lunch hour, a little bit after and a little bit before work, and he's making it as effective as possible, and he's using these times for income-producing activities. So let's go to my schedule now. Mine's a little bit different, but same concept. You can see here. that, you know, in the morning, this is when I do my gym time. This is when I have me time. It's my time. Then I'm getting kids ready for school, so I have some family time here. And then in the evening, of course, you know, that's family time again. I'm doing dinner, or I'm just having wind down time, my time, family time. But I have a lot of time open in the day. So I've got, because this is pretty much my full-time job now. It is my full-time job. I no longer do the appraisals anymore. This is it. So you can see I've got big chunks of time. Now imagine if I didn't plan it out. You know, I would probably just sit and twiddle my thumbs a lot of the times, right? I have to really be thoughtful in what it is I'm doing. So I've written in pen, you know, what I have. I have a VP call at this time. I've got a coaching call, a personal coaching call here. I do my tip of the day on my team Facebook page here. I have a coaching call here with Melissa Davis. I have an accountability partner that I have a call with there. We do a power hour. There's things that are, you know, set in stone week after week. So that's what I put in pen here. But then I have all this open time. You know, Tuesday, a big chunk of time. Wednesday, all, you know, 9 to 3. Thursday, 9 to 3. Wide open time. So this is when I time block income producing activities, meeting people, following up with people, luncheons. I do luncheons both Tuesday, Wednesday, and often Thursday. I meet people for lunch or meet people for coffee. So these get filled up, but with, again, income producing activities. It's not surfing Facebook. It's not cleaning my office. It's very thoughtful.
We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, we got to cruise through these because I don't want to take more of your time. So once you have that time established, you know, that it's open, you time block it for what your priorities are. So the priorities we wrote in the grid earlier, now you're filling those in, those big blocks of time that you have, or small blocks of time, whatever it is you have, you fill it with those core business priorities. And you want to focus on what your highest return on investment is. You know, sampling, we talked about sampling. That is a huge return on investment, but you've got to follow up. Nourishing your network, you know, maybe going to coffee or one-on-one appointments or lunch appointments. Networking meetings is a great place to meet new people and schedule those one-on-ones and sample with people. Power hours, I love these power hours. This is a time that I know there's several teams out there doing them. If your team's doing one, jump on a power hour because it's an hour of focused time. Focused with, you know, you can follow up with samplers, you can do some customer care, you can, there's a lot you can do in 1 hour, just as Matt said. You can do a ton in 15 minutes. Imagine what you can do in an hour. So if you just have a 1 hour time frame in a week's period, use that to be, you know, distraction free and focused entirely on what your core business needs at that time. So another return on investment is coaching calls, either with your upline or you know, with those that you've sponsored or those in your team that are engaged and wanting to maybe go to that next level. So those are your best return on investments. But not, you know, here we talk about daily planning, and this is where Matt will kind of jump into.
Yeah, so we are getting close to time, so I'll hurry through this. But, you know, just wanted to say, plan the day or the day plans you. And I think I got a little bit ahead of myself in talking about breaking the day down into 15-minute increments. Now, if you think about working your business 10 hours a week, 10 hours a week equals 40 15-minute increments. Again, you can do a lot in that time, but the key is to be methodical and put a plan down on paper. Otherwise, you'll be all over the place, like Trisha said. And the other point I mentioned here, or that we put down here, is stop being a worrier and start being a warrior. There's a great story to go along with that, and that is about a person we know who, you know, got sick, but is very busy in her life. And so while she was sick, things started to pile up. And I think you can all relate to this because, again, we're all busy, right? And the more things piled up, the more she began to worry and think, oh, man, how am I ever going to dig myself out of this? I am so behind. There's so much to do. And so she started to worry and to fear and to just be overwhelmed. And we've all felt that way. I know I feel that way quite often. And so in order to stop being a worrier and start being a warrior, what you need to do is, you know, okay, let it go. Focus on the one thing. What's your priority? What's the one thing you need to do or you want to accomplish? Focus on that one thing. See it through to completion. Don't let distractions get in the way. Don't let other things get in the way, but focus on that one thing. And then when that's done, move on to the next. And then when that thing's done, on to the next. And then when that thing's done, on to the next, and so on and so forth. Okay, that will help you stop worrying and become a warrior, because then you're focused on one thing, not 100 different things that you've got to get done.
Yeah, perfect. So if we go to our last, so that was number 4, as we went through those, that checklist. Now we're on the last item, number 5.
Yeah, I love this. This is probably one of my favorite graphics. Eliminate distractions to increase productivity. What are your distractions? For us, it's Facebook, it's email, it's text, it's Messenger, because there's no off button on those applications, right? I mean, how many times are you sitting there and your phone lights up, ding, ding, buzzes, buzzes, and all of a sudden you're focusing on one thing. Then you get pulled another direction, and then another direction, and then another direction. And then, just like I mentioned, you're overwhelmed, and you have 500 different things to do, and you start to worry that you can't do it all. Well, you don't have to do it all. One thing that we've been good at and that we've started to do is to silence them. Go on your phone, go into your settings, turn off the dings, turn off the buzzes. Nothing's going to blow up within 59 minutes. If people have to wait, that's okay. But focus, again, the key is to focus on your priority and not let anything else get in your way. And then when the first priority is finished, move on to the second, the third, and so on. But there's all sorts of distractors, not just social media, not just your phone. There are a lot of things.
Yesterday, for example, I was getting this presentation put together in a PowerPoint, and I set aside 1 hour to get it done. I had a babysitter for the day, and so I'm like, okay, I can use 1 hour for this, and then I have a networking luncheon, and then I have a meeting after that with somebody I met. So, I mean, boom, 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 lots going on. So I'm like, I have 1 hour to get this. Well, I forgot to silence my phone. I usually do. My phone is actually on silent probably 98% of the day. I forgot to silence it, and I got a call from my mom, and then I got a call from another pet pro, and then I got a text message, and I'm like, imagine if I was like, okay, let's see, and then trying to come back to this, and then answering this text, and then coming back here. So I turned my phone on silent, turned it upside down, and just pounded out this presentation, and was able to do it quickly, and my focus was entirely on this, and then I was able to get back to those messages when I had time. But that wasn't my time to do it, so that's the point Matt's trying to make, is turn it on silent, turn off the notifications. You might send me a Facebook Messenger and I don't answer it for several hours, and that's because that's not my time to check Facebook Messenger. I set aside time to do that, and it works, because if you only have 15-minute increments to work, which many of you out there do, don't spend it on non-income producing activities, which is replying to Facebook or replying, those just aren't going to grow your business.
They're distractors.
They're big distractions. So we hope more than anything that you got some value out of this. We both believe that time blocking is going to be your best friend, because you'll find those windows of opportunity to work. You'll be able to, that vision that you're picturing, like, oh, I could do this and I could do that. You'll see your vision come to pass, and it all comes down to time blocking. And I'm a huge believer in it, because that's what got us here today. I started out with 10 hours a week. That's all I had, and that was even a stretch. And here I am now, full-time, 30 hours a week, and it's been amazing. We've had really great success, and we're just really proud of what we've done, I have to say. And a lot of it's a huge team effort too, right? But we're just really proud of what we've done in the last 4 years, and proof that it can be done. Your dreams can come true, I promise you. They really can. And we're living proof to that.
Absolutely. You'll worry less, and like we said, you'll become a warrior.
Yeah.
You'll build your business big, and your dreams really will come true.
Yeah. So any questions before we wrap up? Anything related to tonight's topic? We don't want to get off topic. Anything relating to time management? Or I don't see any questions in the Q&A, but any comments here?
Nothing in the chat either.
Okay. Okay. Well, we're grateful, so grateful you took some time you time blocked this call to be here. That's an important first step.
Yes, thank you.
This time block calendar that we got you can just find it online. There's several on Pinterest. If you just Google it, you can find one. I'd be happy to email it to anybody that might be interested. It's just one I downloaded from somebody, a blogger. But it's really useful. I think you could really find a lot of use out of it. So thank you. Appreciate you spending your night with us. We're really glad that you're here. So have a great evening, and we will talk to you later.
Bye, everybody.
See ya.
Have a good night.